Good morning. I'm going to remake this video because I heard it was just a little confusing. So 8.6 is factoring of ax squared plus bx plus c when a is anything other than 1. We are actually going to skip ahead to this. The next page, so it's not the first note, it's the second note. It's going to be your product table method. First things, if a common factor in all the terms, you want to factor it out. You want to multiply your a times your c, so remembering that a times c, what is a and what is b? So a is going to be your coefficient on your x squared, c is your constant. Okay, multiply your a and your c, list the factors of the ac term. You want to add the factors of the AC until you find one that equals the B term. So remembering, what is your B term? So B is going to be your coefficient on your X. Okay? You're going to want to write the A term, then use the factors of AC to write the two middle terms. Write the C term. Okay, so and we'll do step 5, 6, and 7 together, and we'll probably want to review back to this. Factor out the common factor of the first two terms and common factor of the second two terms, and then use the reverse of the distributive property to list the final factor pair. And it's a lot easier to do it, and then maybe it might explain a little better. So 4x minus, right now, right away, if you see, we just have the factors of negative 12. 4 is our A, and negative 3 is our C. So AC, we're multiplying, because they're right next to each other. A times C is negative 12. And our B is negative 4. So we have to list all of our factors of negative 12. And when we find one that, when added together, gets us negative 4, added together, 2 plus a negative 6 is negative 4, and we found our negative 4. So what I need to do is I need to write the A term. So I'm at this step right here. Write the A term. Use the factors of AC to write the two middle terms, or to write the middle term. Sorry. Okay. So here we are going to change this negative 4x to 2x minus 6x. We're just splitting this up. So plus 2x minus 6x minus 3. So haven't done anything, we haven't changed it, we've just changed, we've changed this to two terms. And when I add them together, I do get negative 4. Okay, so then the next step is to factor out the common factors of the first two terms. So I want to group the first two terms together, and I want to factor out a common factor. So just looking at, and maybe I'll highlight these, I'm going to just look at these two right here, and I want to be able to factor out something that's common in both of them. So 4x squared, 2x, they both have a 2 and an x in them. And what is left? So when factoring out, remember, I'm really just dividing. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. X squared divided by x is x. And then 2x divided by 2x is just 1. Okay, then I need to do pink. How about? Then I need to group these two together. My goal is to get another thing that when I multiply by 2x. So I want, inside my parentheses, I want, again, the same thing. So that is my goal. But what can I divide out of both of these? Well, I can divide out a negative 3. So the negative 3 is going to go on the outside. I have 6 divided by, let's go back one. Negative 6 divided by negative 3 is 2x. I can't take an x out of both of them because not both of them have an x in them. And then negative 3 divided by negative 3 is a plus 1. So if you notice, 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1. So the next thing that I do, my next step, is you're going to use the reverse of the distributive property to list the final pair. So I'm going to combine these two, so 2x minus 3, and when I say combine, you can't combine those terms, right? And they're multiplied by the 2x plus 1. This is my goal. This is this trinomial factored. These are the two factors of this one here. This is my goal. I am done there. Now I do want to just remind you that when you are doing the distributive property, you're going to take this one and multiply it by every term in this one, right? Or this whole term here. That's what you really are doing when you are working it out, right? So technically you're doing 2x when you are finding, when you're multiplying two binomials. You don't have to do this, I'm just showing you why. This is the reverse. So 2x and we multiply it, so this 2x is multiplied by this whole 2x plus 1, and then we take this negative 3 and multiply it by this whole 2x plus 1. And then we distribute and we combine our like terms, and when we're all done, we get to this answer here, right? So that's why it's the reverse of the distributive property. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Not using the box method. I'm going to use, I'm going to use this page. So we're going to do 10m squared plus 5m minus 105. And this is where our first rule says factor out the greatest common factor. Well, 5 can be divided out of all of them. So 5, and I kind of have to remember it later because I might accidentally forget it. But so 10 divided by 5 is 2. So we have 2m squared plus m, and then minus 21. Okay, now negative 21 times 2. I have to find all the factors of AC, so negative 42, that add up to my b, which is a positive 1. Remember, if there's nothing there, it's just a positive 1. So factors of negative 42 are 1 and 42. Again, one of them having to be negative. 2 and 21, 3 and 14. I can go real quick. 6 times 7. One of them has to be negative. So if I put this, negative 6 times 7 gets me negative 42. When I add these together, I get a positive 1, and that's what I need. So if I look here, 6 and 7, I can break this one into two different terms. I do want to remember, so right away, I would probably write this one first anyway. So negative 6m, and then if I add 7m, I'm just breaking that one up into two different terms. I haven't changed the actual value of it, but I want you to see 2m squared. The 7 and the 21 have something in common, and I guess the 6 and the 21 would too. But the 2 and 6 have something in common. So I'm gonna group these two together and factor out a common factor, which is 2 and m. And 2m divided or squared, so it's just m left, and then a negative 3. And then here, what do I have in common here? Well, 7 can come out of both of them, and then m minus 3. And I'm going to take these two and change it. So 2m, this is a positive 7, so plus 7, multiplied by my m minus 3. And do not forget to bring down your 5. So these are all factors of this. 2m plus 7 times 5 times m minus 3. I hope I made it a little